your girl Am here with Just Ask Am. I am with Diesel from Ohio. What's happening? Say hi.
How you guys doing?
So I know I love what happens lately of just the random connections, different states. It's amazing. And I feel like that's what social media should be doing for us. So who is Diesel? What's a little bit about you?
So, thank you for having me.
You're
Buffalo in
welcome.
the house. I know you're from Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's like another area I love out there. I love Buffalo, so it's
hmm
good to connect with a person from Buffalo. So, first off, my character name is Diesel.
I figured.
As you guys know, I just made a post about the name. So Diesel, the name came from my cousin. He was a great football player in our local area. So,
Nice.
you remember AOL Messenger,
Oh,
AIM?
yes.
So his name was like Diesel Shack, and some numbers. And then one day I was like, think of a name to create. Like, I really love Kobe Bryant and Shaq. Shaq
Yeah,
Diesel was this person. I'm Kobe, but I kind of like Diesel, so I slid out Shaq's name, put my last name in there, and that's how I became Diesel
there
Donald.
you
So
go.
I had this name since fourth grade, so it wasn't like nothing. It's
Your
nothing new.
grandfathered
It,
in.
yeah. So when I was like creating my Instagram name, like when I was like starting off, I was like, what name can I create that, I had a different name. I had like Don Low Fit. That was into fitness. I was like, that don't really, rhyme with me. So
Right, right, right.
that's how I was like, what was the name I created a long time ago? Oh, Diesel Don Low. So that's like how the
That
name
transpired.
created.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a little bit about how the name created. But I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. Um, I still live here, but I travel all over the world.
hmm
Um, you know, Acting, doing yoga, teaching, inspiring, doing different events and collaborations with different companies as well.
Yeah, I
And
know you've been doing your thing
just
lately with a lot of common brand names I see. I like it.
yeah, I mean, just like how you just created your podcast. You collab with different people. You collab with different um, people with different ideas, and boom, you have different
Yeah.
episodes. So
And it's kind of amazing because I feel like, with yoga and everything, I don't, I'm not like an expert on it, but what I do know from it kind of just, helps you get centered, help you get focused. And I feel like, that's been like the most important ingredient probably like in the last few months is kind of just let me focus on me. Let me get myself, organized and together, get the energy right. And then I feel like in time, like certain things just automatically attract you, which is kind of nice because then it starts to work for you. And I feel like you don't have to do as much. So, like, that's always that rewarding feeling. So, with just a few things that you mentioned, how did you get to a journey of being proficient in so many different trades?
since you said jack of all trades, I'm more like to say proficient or
Yeah.
mastery. Because when you like a jack of all trades, you're like, he didn't really master
Well,
it.
they
I
say
pretty
jack of
much
many trades, but like mastered none.
Yeah, so I mastered a few of them, or my word is I'm very proficient. Like it's like a dancer. If you continue to dance and you continue to do the practice every day, you're going to become a great dancer, or in other people's eyes, great dancer. But you just honed in on your skill and your talent, or a musician playing the piano.
Mhm.
You played it in practice piano every day. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to become
Yeah.
what they say great or very good. So I would just say for me, like I'm able to pick up things easier,
Yeah.
things I'm interested in. I would say like I'm just interested in anything that's inspirational,
Yeah.
anything that's going to provide healing, anything that's going to provide you know a sense of what's the word, sense of purpose
Right.
for
Right.
people.
Absolutely.
So anything that we do here, like I like to say that what you say, jack of uh, many trades. I just say I'm proficient in a lot of trades because a lot of my trades are like they're like weaved together.
Yes.
They're like woven together.
Yes.
It's not like really like and it's
Complete
like I already
opposite.
done a
Right.
lot of this work years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. I done most of the stuff that you guys are seeing now. I
Mhm.
did like all this stuff years ago,
Right.
you know?
And I think, and like I said, that's the beauty, and like I said, that's why I love doing, like, my episodes, and I've started to branch out of, like, who says, I can't do an episode virtually with somebody, like, in a different state? But, like, to your point too, that's what I kinda love about, like, all my businesses, where we understand, like, the method to the madness, and although they're, like, different things, but the best part is, like you said, when they can all weave together, because then that's, like, the purpose of almost maximizing, like, talents or what you do know how to do, and then, like you said, just even the sense of purpose that you either feel within yourself or that you can provide others, like, that's what community is, that's what, collaboration and kinda just coming together with other people, especially these days where, the level of stress, the expectations, family, kids, obligations, and all those types of things, it's kind of nice just to have that space, to let it all go, breathe, stop everything for a minute. So like yeah, like things like yoga or different things that you do or music for people, those are such crucial things to kinda keep sane, if you will. And I think it's underestimated at times.
Let's yes, let's tap into the yoga and things while we're here because I don't
Yeah.
want to miss that.
Mhm.
Um, you asked me about the yoga. Yes, I'm very involved in yoga because a lot of times, we get caught up in, you know, this religion. Like, oh
Mhm.
man, yoga is so demonic. Yoga is this and that. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
it's an exercise.
Yeah.
You stretch every day. Or it's like me saying you go to Walmart and the CEO and everyone in the building is demonic, and you stop there. Like, like it doesn't make sense to me, So
Yeah.
I get where
Definitely an
some
education
people
thing.
may, yeah, I think some people may use it for whatever
Mhm.
service they do it for. I don't know, but
Mhm.
my reason of doing yoga is one, it's a connection,
Mhm.
it's a centering thing,
Right.
it's a grounding thing, and then it comes with meditation,
Mhm.
visualization. When you're in the yoga classes and you're in the different poses and
Mhm.
different position, you're doing like a mind body connection there. It's
Right.
not just like a let me just throw up some weights and pump them out like,
Right.
and nothing wrong that way either because you need a good
Everything is
you need some
balance.
calisthenics.
Too much of
Exactly,
anything is
exactly.
it gets weird, like, even with religion, like, when stuff gets a little too much and too weird, now you're walking your way into a cult. So, like, it's really just the balance and understanding and education, like, of things.
And that's all it is. So I don't when I do yoga, like you said, balance. I don't go like some this week. I only did like power yoga like maybe once or twice this week, and
Mhm.
then like every night before I go to bed, I do restorative yoga, like
Mhm.
a more a grounding, calming the nervous system down, bringing in restoring the body temple, activating the parasympathetic nervous system,
Mhm.
activating the vagus nerve, activating calmness in the body.
Mhm.
So for me, yoga, meditation, all that stuff is like you said earlier to bring equanimity, balance,
Mhm.
and centering myself.
Yeah.
And also, it's a great exercise.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's definitely, just people educating themselves and kind of, knowing what works. Because I'm sure there's many different styles, like, of yoga as well. So knowing yourself, what kind of style yoga do you like and kind of like sticking with that. But that kind of goes into my next question of what do you enjoy doing most and why? It does sound like yoga is pretty high up there. It seems like you enjoy that most.
I mean, that's one of the things I
Yeah.
enjoy. I have other interests,
Yeah.
uh, but that's like one of the main things at this season.
Mhm.
Meditation, being in nature, hanging out with high-minded, open-hearted
Yes.
people, being in a
Right.
community of love. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's not just like one thing, but being around my daughters,
Yeah.
seeing them grow, like that's very important to me. So
Yeah.
um and this in this stage of life is just it's everything's evolving. So I just like being in nature right now and just
Yeah.
enjoying the weather changing and the season.
Can I add
So
what age group are you in currently?
how old am I?
Mhm. Like, are you in your third?
33.
Okay. So that's why I asked. So I'll be 35 this month, and I have to say, like, my 30s have actually been like my best year so far, probably the roughest. But also,
Yeah, no,
the best in the sense of I've gotten to know myself, like, so much. Like you said, just kind of seeing this evolving. I like what you said that in this season, yoga is kind of one of the major things that you're doing. And I feel like that's so important to, like, know and be okay with because society says, well, you should be doing this at this age. You should be doing it this at this age. So just to have that comfortability to accept, this is what I'm doing in this season. That's like half the anxiety and the stress of like, oh my God, like I'm 35, I'll be 35. I haven't done this, I haven't done that. And it's just like, you know what? This isn't the season I'm in. I'm happy with it. I'm
right,
comfortable. It's like you said, like kind of just a different perspective of I'm on that same wavelength. Like I love traveling. I've been traveling more. Like I want to see different things. I want to surround myself by people with different, mindsets. Because at the end of the day, what you surround yourself with, who you surround yourself by, plays such a major part, like, in your energy and how your spirit feels, when you're at the certain age. Are you still learning? Are you still evolving in the right things? Or are you just, like, stuck or not reaching your full potential, like, or purpose? So and I feel like in my 30s, I have more of this sense of, like, security or confidence of, like, "Yeah, I'll try this. Yeah, I'll try this. If this is dumb, I won't do it again," but it's just, like, there's not so much hesitance, like, "Oh my god, this isn't cool. Like, I'm not gonna try it because my friends might, like." I don't care. So, like, I love that about my 30s, it's like this refreshing reset.
yeah, yeah. That's a good way to say it. I mean,
Yeah.
especially with the season, and it's autumn. It's autumn, so
Mhm.
it's a reset and rebirth. When the leaves are falling and the trees are about to look, really skinny, and it's going through a recalibration.
Mhm.
Because the trees like it recalibrate the season every year, sheds off the skin,
Mhm.
so you can come. So that's what we have to do as well. We have to uh, let go of
Mhm.
what no longer serves us, so we can
Mhm.
become, our next version of our highest self, or the caterpillar and the
Yeah.
butterfly. We're always changing and evolving.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the time, like, and that's the beauty of, like, talking, people, put the phones down, talk, "Hi, how are you?" Where
Right,
it's just, like,
right.
even through simple conversations or dialogue like this, it's like you learn so much. You, like, step back and you slow down and kinda just a different perspective of, like, nature can actually be so closely relatable and teach us so much about humanity. Like you said, like, yes, like, I feel like I'm in a season of shedding a lot of things, like, whether it's old habits or old, connections with people. But it's like it's not a bad thing, and I feel like sometimes there's the, conflict of, like, social media and the facades are like, "Oh, like, this person is, corny because they're doing this or they don't hit anybody up anymore." And I think if you like you said, the like-minded people, the difference in that perspective is it's growth. It's shedding things that maybe just aren't coming with you on this part of your journey. And like that's okay. It doesn't always have to be like a negative thing. I have this crazy, like beautiful view and I'm on the fifth floor and it's just a bunch of trees across. And it's like really nice to see like the turn of the leaves and like you said, like the trees get all the way down, to the branches and it's like, even with that, that's still not a bad thing because it just resets, it rejuvenates, and it starts all over again. And that's literally chapters in our life, whether it's every year, every 5 years, every 10 years, when you're single, when you're in a relationship, when you have a family now, and I think there's a beauty in it all. There's beauty in the chaos and the mess, in the things that have purpose and I think that clarity comes from, kind of the closely relatable thing would be let which is yoga. Yoga just like
Yeah.
quiets the distraction, quiets the noise, like helps you check in within yourself. And I think there's such a lack of that these days. And with social media, when it's used the wrong way, my fear for people is they're so far removed from who they really are, where it's just like, do you know who you are? And that's a scary question, like,
Yeah.
do people know who they really are?
You gotta ask them that. No, I'm joking. No,
We're
no, no.
good here. We got it.
No, no, no. That's a good question because,
Mhm.
again, you had some good insights there when you talked about how the social media aspect of, because you're only seeing people's highlights, you
Mhm.
know. And with me, that's why I don't mind sharing. Look, the one day I had nobody in my yoga class, not one person. And people look at my brand and like, bro, you have over 100,000 followers. You
Mhm.
think one person in the
Mhm.
world would come to the yoga studio? But I say, no, that's not why I'm here for. Because it's the reason why that happened is for me to imagine that the class is filled with a bunch of people that I'm healing and I'm providing a service. Like I'm imagining what it's going to become one day. So you can't take the you got to take the good with the bad. And a lot of times, a lot of people just want to go to the $1 million
Mhm.
lifestyle. They don't want to go through the baby
The
steps of
process.
you
Mhm.
know growing and
Mhm.
evolving and unfolding to the highest version of yourself. Like one of my old friends, like he would delete all his stuff, and I'm like, dude, I get that you delete. No, I get that you need to delete. You know, like messages or like
Right,
emails.
right.
Okay, cool. But like when you're like deleting your content, I'm like, bro, we gotta see. People want to see the
You're
evolution,
deleting your
and
progress.
and I'm like, why are you deleting your stuff? Because you got to keep that memory. You got not
Mhm.
memory, but you got to keep it so you can see
Yeah,
how you
where you
grew.
started, absolutely. And I think
So
that's such a big thing these days where it's just like, even sometimes I too, like when I have a slowed down moment, I'll go back and be like, I was looking crazy that or like, when I did something and I didn't get one ticket sale, oh my God, it was like the end of the world for me. But I'm so grateful that like lately I'm just like you said, it's just like, you know what? Those are the things, there's still purpose in that because those are the things that build you to have the strength to believe in your vision so much that although it didn't happen this time, but if it's that consistency, and that's where a lot of people fail. If you keep believing in the vision, if you stay consistent, if you stay true to it, and you keep on doing what you're doing, that's why I say like you're building that energy, and that's what's going to attract what's meant for you at the right time. Because you could have had all the people be there that day, and I don't know, maybe you would have tripped there, messed up a lesson, or I don't know, anything could have happened. So it's like when you start to look at it that way, it's just like it's a sense of peace. You don't freak out as much, less stress, less anxiety. And I know it's easier said than done, but I think there is a lack in humans kind of disciplining themselves to practice that more because it's easy to scroll all day. It's easy to do the good part, that living my best life, or like distractions, or I got to be seen here this weekend and next weekend, and all you're doing is like you're a hamster on a wheel, just keeping yourself busy, escaping the things you probably should be facing quietly at home, but people fear quietly and alone. But it gives so much clarity
yeah,
and focus when you take the step to like start, you know?
yeah, yeah. You said it so perfectly, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, oh my God, you just hit it perfectly. Instead of having a bad approach, I
Mhm,
looked at it as a time to go inside. Let me do my meditation. Let
mhm,
me do my breath work. Let me do some mindfulness. Let me just
mhm,
sit in stillness. Because a lot of people are like, man, see, let me give up. Man, let me give up. Let me
mhm,
give up. Let me stop doing what I'm doing. Like we give up so easily
mhm.
what's, what is meant for us. That's why I'm like, Kobe Bryant said something really good. I love Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
God rest his soul and his beautiful family and his
Mhm.
daughter and the people that was in the situation with him. Send my love to their family right now.
Yeah.
But one thing Bryant said was that you got to take the bad with the good. You can't just get up
Yep.
and leave the ship
Mhm.
when the crew is going down. What about the times where we win championships? Well, I got to be there when we don't win championships either.
Yep.
But a lot of times we're so easy to just get up and leave instead of just sticking through
Mhm.
it and seeing. Christopher Columbus said something really good. I don't know if he really came to America first or whatever. That's between. I'm just going off the letter of the
Right, right,
story.
right, right.
And Christopher Columbus said before he came to the United States or America, whatever it was called, before he came to the land, when he knew he was getting closer, he started seeing like twigs. He started seeing like grass. like in the ocean, like, different,
Mhm.
things he saw before he came. So he knew land was near.
Okay.
So go through it to see the twigs sometimes. It might come, after you go through those 10 days of hard nights, you might start seeing
Right.
little twigs and signs in a little bit. So before Christopher Columbus came to the United States, I guess he said he saw like twigs and signs, and that's when he
Mhm.
knew land was near.
Mhm.
So we have to remember that our land is near.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
and I like I personally had to learn that lesson myself, and I'm always very conscious on my, podcast that like, hey, a lot of the things that I've talk about is because I've been there, I've done that, I've had the lesson in my face, I didn't learn, I ran up against the same wall and I had to start all over again. And that's like I said, the purpose in that is sharing your experience with people so they don't waste so much time. And I don't want to say waste time. I should say spend so much time doing the same thing versus learning maybe after the first or second and then getting to the next level of your growth instead of stunting your growth on things that you don't necessarily have to be investing so much time on. And I think like that positive self-talk, like that's like very important. But also just being okay with we are human. We are not perfect. We have flaws. We're going to do great. We're going to mess up and then we can get back up and do great again. And I think it's just a matter of normalizing, hey, people probably think I'm crazy. Now I got about six personalities, when it comes to my podcast show, because I'll be dancing to my salsa in the car. I love driving. That's when I do my best thinking. And then the night comes and I'm like, yo, I just want to give up. But these are raw emotions. We all experience it. But what people are doing is like self destructing and just showing the good when we like have to normalize the good, bad, and the ugly. Because at the end of the day, the bigger picture is it all works together at one point or another. It makes sense. It's your journey, it's your process, but you have to like know yourself. You have to be conscious of your intuition will tell you the things that are right in front of our face. Us as humans, us as women, we remain in denial and we ignore them. And we force ourselves to stay in situations longer than needed. Once again, these are things we don't talk about enough because it's like, well, no. We need to normalize these conversations because having these conversations bring awareness. It helps you with acceptance. You shed what and who may not be meant for you, and then you grow. And like you said, your comparison is best with the seasons. Like it's okay. Winter, winter's beautiful, but winter can be ugly because everything's cold. Everything's bare. It seems like oof, but there's even purpose in that because, like you said, him coming to that water, he started to see the elements, and that was his hope. Okay, I'm closer to land. I'm getting closer. Now I see, trees. Now I see this and that. And I think it's a matter of training your mind to think like that. When you train your mind to think like that, when challenges come, because they will never stop coming, then you develop this sense of controlling the emotions, not to like freak out or get so angry and, let those things consume you to a point where, like you said, I give up. I don't want to do that anymore. Or, and like my friend shared with me the other day, those are actually trauma responses. When I give up. No, I don't want to talk anymore. No, that's it. No, but you have to be aware of those things within yourself to say, okay, why am I feeling this way? You know what I'm saying? And it just really starts within yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. So to go off what you said some good points there. um, about winter, all that stuff, how you brought the nature.
Yes.
It's just like what's going on now in my life, like a lot of stuff I'm revamping.
Yeah,
So, I had a clothing brand, and I have a clothing brand,
that's
but
right.
I'm, I already had it. What
Mhm.
I'm saying, had
Like
whatever. I have
rebranding.
one, and but we rebranding, working with clothing design, not designer, but a printing company here
Mhm.
locally. Just collabing um and doing that and getting the books together.
Yeah.
Then we have water, have my own brand,
Okay.
and getting all that. Yeah, get all that brand, get everything's coming together, and it's all like at one time. And
Yes.
we're working on books, working on films. I'm working on a film with this guy out near you in
Okay.
Buffalo. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, one of my guys. Yeah, so I should be up in. I don't know if he's coming down here. We're gonna do it up there, but we're about to film. This inspirational piece on
Nice.
me coming up soon.
If you in the neighborhood, let me know.
Yeah. So my buddy up there, I love Buffalo, by the
Yeah.
way. I love Buffalo because you guys are um I have such a like appreciation for the film community out there.
Mhm.
I haven't really tapped into the yoga community out there yet,
Yeah.
or Pilates or the other two,
Yeah. I got
but
some
I love
girlfriends
Buffalo.
who love, I mean, like, diehard fitness stuff. They love it. So d don't rule it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah,
kind of
let
mhm.
let them know. Let them know.
Yeah. So that
Let
leads
them
into,
know.
like, my last question. How would you compare your journey from a couple years ago until now? But before you answer, because I don't wanna forget what I was gonna say, I love that you said how everything is coming together, and that is such an important key. So, like, whoever it is, whatever you're doing right now, it could look so crazy. You might not have any type of understanding of what the light at the end of the tunnel even looks like. But that right there is the importance where when stuff is so chaotic, that could be a sign for you to just like fully hands off, sit, take a minute, regroup, maybe let some things organically happen on their own. When you trust the process, when you are patient, then the most amazing thing is when it all starts to come together like puzzle pieces and at the same time. So, like, I love that that's happening for you.
Yes, thank you. And I'm gonna say this before you ask the question. You ever watch Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes. Oh, wait. The
Okay,
movie or the cartoon one?
the cartoon one.
Oh, okay. I'm familiar with it.
Okay, so during the episodes of season 2, episode 17 or
Got the
18,
episode and
somewhere.
everything.
Uncle, I love Avatar, so I know where it is.
Yes.
It's the end of season 2.
Okay.
Uncle Iroh and Aang is walking down this dark tunnel,
Mhm.
and Aang's asking for advice from Uncle Iroh. Uncle Iroh said, life is like this dark tunnel. Life is like this dark tunnel.
Mhm.
You're gonna keep on walking, and when you come to the end of it, you'll see the light and the beauty
Mhm.
from it. You see the light and beauty at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
But if you just keep moving, you'll see and that's what it all is. Just keep on
mhm,
moving, keep on going. But go
absolutely.
ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, just like I said, and also too, the keep on moving part in a healthy way, not like just busy to be busy, but busy with intention and purpose on some kind of goal, even if you're going in a direction that you're not completely sure of. And that's like I said, just the importance of like who's pouring into you, what you're surrounding yourself by. But like, it sounds like your journey from a couple years ago is much more different now. How would you say it is?
The difference now is that I would say for me personally, I've grown my spiritual practice.
Okay.
I've grown a practice where, my Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith always says, you have to do your spiritual work. Are you
Yeah.
meditating? Are you doing your exercising? Are you
Mhm.
drinking your right hydration? Are you doing your prayer?
Yeah.
And prayer in my community, prayer is it's called affirmative prayer. You're not begging God for
Yeah.
anything. You're not begging or beseeching. Uh, you're affirming that what it is. You already have what it is. So right, we have everything we need
We do.
to do what we need to do.
Mhm.
And sometimes we look outside of it.
Yeah.
So affirmative prayer is not begging God for a prayer or begging, you know,
Just being thankful
something in
for
the
what you
sky.
already have, because at one point you were praying for that and now you have it, but it's so easy to keep wanting more.
There you go.
Mhm.
And says spiritual study, sacred study,
Yep.
hanging on high-minded people. Again, it's stabilizers in the practice. So develop a spiritual practice where I'm doing my meditation, I'm doing my visioning, I'm doing my affirmations, I'm doing the inner work, I'm doing exercising, I'm taking care of my body temple the best I can. Some days I slip up like any human,
Yeah,
and I'm not
exactly.
afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid to admit, like some days I have like those urges to eat, a chocolate
Mhm.
vegan sandwich or a chocolate ice cream sandwich, vegan chocolate sandwich. And I do not like ice cream, by the way. But I'll give you an
An
example.
example, right.
Uh,
It's very easy to lose the discipline. Yeah.
but I developed a spiritual practice where before I didn't have it.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my mom's maybe like 6 years ago. This is like 2019. And I was like, who's this black? Something came to my thought, like, who's that black guy from The Secret? I don't know if you watch The Secret,
No.
but
Mhm.
oh, you gotta watch that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the black guy was that guy Michael Bernard Beckwith. And
Okay.
I was like, man, and then like so you get insights, you get like
Yeah.
a discernment too. So
Mhm.
I was led to him, and then I develop a spiritual practice, and I'm on my journey of being vegan and being raw vegan one day,
Mhm.
and I'm juicing,
Yeah.
having different ways of
Yeah.
evolving. You know what I'm saying there's different ways of evolving.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and I
that's
think
what helped
there's
me from years ago because
yeah.
back in the just
Doing whatever, yeah. And there's definitely there's such a huge importance in that, and like I said, once again, just same thing in my journey. It's just like, man, that self-care, like you said, and like, I'm Christian, so the whole spiritual factor, like that, when you focus on those things, it provides you so much more clarity and like focus. And then it's just like the roles are reversed where you're not so focused on the outside noise and distractions and basing like life or what you're going to feel on those things. Now you're so focused on your inner self and taking care of that mind over matter, mental health, emotional health, all those things. Um, they start to work for themselves. And the beauty in that is you can remain this type of calm through anything, and then that's how I believe you then master more and more through that consistency, patience, and like understanding of just who you are. So you don't have to necessarily overthink everything so much because sometimes the answer could just be right there. You just have to be still and like see it or listen to it or hear it. You know what I'm saying? So I think all those things, they do make a difference. They sound simple, they sound small, but they're very effective. Yes. Well, thank you so much for
definitely.
joining me. As usual, the conversation is amazing. Like I said, I've seen you on your journey, and I hope it continues to flourish and keep doing your thing.
Thank you, and I wish you nothing but the best on this podcast. Thank you for having me and on your beautiful
Absolutely.
community. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Yes.